Hello, it's the police. If there's anyone here, make yourself known. Officers with taser.
The safest place anyone should be is in their own home.
Back door's open.
Fear was escalated because this is just unreal. It's unheard of a Saturday night and a young woman is brutally murdered in her own home. This was an immensely complex investigation. It started with nothing. Our only eyewitness that could have told us exactly what had happened was Ashley herself. There was no one else in that address with her. There were 6 defendants involved. It spanned across from their criminality in North Wales. It led us into Greater Manchester and then across Merseyside. These investigations, they're so complex because when you look at the people that are involved, they're organised criminals. They're used to their phones going dark, disposing of phones and swapping phone numbers. Probably one of the most complex investigations I've certainly ever led. Ashley was 28 years old at the time of her murder. At home with her dog at 40 Leinster Road on Saturday the 20th of August in the evening, and was searching the internet, sending text messages to her mum, to her partner, Lee Harrison, who was out that evening. And then at around 11:30 that night, a Hyundai i30 drove into 40 Leinster. 3 of the tyres of Ashley's car were damaged outside. We know that because on her phone, she started texting her mum that the car alarm was going off. James Witham has forced entry into the address, taking the door down completely, only leaving the frame intact. Ashley has started to flee the address from the dining room area. We could show from the footwear marks and from the ballistic evidence at the scene that there were 8 shots at least that were fired directly towards Ashley while still walking towards her. There was 2 that were shot further towards the skirting board area, so we believe that that was intended towards the dog. Because the dog cage was there towards the right-hand side. And then he's continued to go upstairs to the spare bedroom where the light was off, where he's just about walked in. Again, we could prove that forensically with the footwear and the ballistic evidence, that then a further 5 have been fired over the top of the bed. It's unbelievable to think that Ashley's younger sister was due to be staying there that night, and it's only by chance that she didn't, or this could be another story that we're telling here as well, in addition to Ashley, which is bad enough. The level of intelligence that was coming into to the inquiry was phenomenal. Again, I go back to the community, huge thanks. They really rallied round us and pointed us in the right direction quite early on in the investigation. There's been thousands of exhibits seized in this investigation, and over 300 of those were digital devices, but I suppose the most important piece of evidence was Ashley's phone herself, that was only found arm's length away from her. She had an iPhone, like many of us, and she lived a life on her phone. Ashley actually recording or sending voice notes to her friends, describing what was going on in her life, was running parallel to the investigation. It was Ashley narrating what was going on and what led up ultimately to her death. It was vital in us understanding the motive. It was detailing to us the characters that were involved in this, the threats that were being made to come round to the house, with the intended target being her partner at the time, Harrison, that we've obviously heard a lot about through this trial. With a couple of weeks to go before the trial starting, James Witham actually ended up entering a plea of manslaughter. So he admitted his involvement as being the person responsible for entering Ashley's home and for firing those 10 shots towards her. He still didn't fully admit who else was involved.
Yeah, James. Right, okay, you're under arrest for suspicion of murder. Alright, you don't have to say anything. The may army defence, you don't mention one question, something which will let on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Alright.
We'll put you in handcuffs. What's your name, fella? Jules. Under arrest on suspicion of murder, okay? You don't have to say anything. May army defence, you don't mention one question.
We left him evidentially nowhere else to go. There was a bullet casing with his DNA on, which was 1 in a billion. We were able to prove that he bought from his own bank account trainers at Taskers. Again, they proved vital because we had footwear marks of the gunman coming out of the address. We were able to identify the Hyundai vehicle that they had purchased in exchange for another vehicle that they used to operate their drug dealing. To try and make out that this was just sending a message that by turning up near on an hour earlier to damage car tyres, to then come back with a Scorpion submachine gun that can fire up to 14 to 50 rounds a second, that you force entry into somebody's home, you then continue towards them firing indiscriminately while they are trying to escape out their back door. So that certainly wasn't someone just sending out a message. That was absolutely full intent from the minute they went back to that address and taking a submachine gun. Ashley's family have shown real dignity throughout this and throughout the trial. I mean, you know, my heart goes out to them, but it's not over then. I won't be able to take the pain away for them. All I have been able to do is, I suppose, find some answers to a number of questions that they will have, and they will continue to have a number of questions because whilst we have got to some truths, we will never fully know the truth, only those involved will. But it has been difficult with the engaging with the family because it's just been so intense for them. And as I said, just trying to find some of those answers because it won't bring closure. This is going to continue for them. Will it get easier? I can't answer that, but you know, real thanks to the family trusting in me, trusting in the team. Huge thanks to the family liaison officers that 24 hours around the clock are available to the family should they ever need. I'd say Merseyside and their response to serious organised crime is, well, this is an example of it, isn't it? That if you were going to behave in that way, if you think that it is right to bring firearms on our streets to cause fear amongst the communities, then I hope this is an example to show exactly what will happen. These individuals will not be coming out for a very, very long time. So anyone that is even contemplating being involved in drug dealing or in especially firearms, we will make sure that there's no place for you and we will find you.